Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my go-to date night or drinks with the girls makeup look. As you can see, I've gone for a pink sparkly look, so if you want to see how I got this look, please keep on watching. But to begin, I just put on my Sleek Monaco Illuminator. I just put that all over my skin just to give it a little bit of a glow before I do any of my makeup, so that it provides a nice base for my foundation. And obviously there is no right or wrong way to do makeup. It's however you decide you want to do it and the look you're going for. I hate it when you do your eyeshadow and then it falls onto your face and then it's just a nightmare to get off, so I always start with my eyes first, which some people find odd, but it's just how I prefer. So I'm going to use the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot and a MAC 252 brush just to provide a base on my eyelid and of course my brow. So I'll just start by gently pressing against the brow, and obviously if you are interested how I do my brows, if any of you out there want to know, then I can do a separate brow tutorial, but I thought it'd be quicker for me to do them first because it sometimes takes me a while. So I kind of go a bit OTT with this. My eyes tend to get a bit oily actually, so it's quite difficult for me to find eyeshadow that sticks on, so that's why I use this as a primer, and I feel like it makes my eyebrows look a lot sharper. Take this shade from my MAC palette. Now this palette is really old, so I really don't know what it's called. But I just take that shade on a chisel shadow brush, I think this is Crown Brushes, and I just take that along my brow bone just to set the paint pot in place. As you can probably tell, I'm really not using a lot, and I'm holding it kind of as far back as possible so that it's really light on the skin. By the way, I'm really sorry if I look really scary with that makeup on. I'm really, I'm aware of that. But I'm not lucky enough to be one of these girls that looks stunning without makeup on. So just have to get on with it. So now I'm going to move on to eyeshadow. I'm going to use my Morphe palette, my Morphe 35F palette, which is here. To begin, for my transition shade, I'm going to take my Zoeva 224 brush, and I'm just going to start with this colour here. Just going to gently put that into my crease. Now I have quite a lot of, I don't know how to say it, I feel like I've got quite a lot of skin on my eyelids, so sometimes I find it easier to tilt my head back or kind of pull up the skin. So I'll just repeat that a few times. To kind of build up the transition colour, I'm going to use the third one in. I use the same brush and just on this side you can see it's kind of gone off on a tangent, so I just gently try and blend that out just so it's not so harsh. I haven't gone too heavy with this because obviously it's just a transition colour and I'm going for a sparkly kind of pink look, so it doesn't really need to be, you don't need to worry if it's not 100% perfect, it's just kind of what you prefer. So to do the kind of glitter pigment eye, I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown concealer brush. So I'm going to use this nice pink colour, and I'm just going to spray a bit of the Urban Decay makeup setting spray just on the brush to make it a little bit wet. And just gently tilt my head back so that I can see where the kind of crease is and just pat that on. Now it does take a while to build up. I find on my eyelid it takes ages. And then if you tilt your head back, you can kind of see where the crease line is. and I'm not doing a cut crease or anything like that, but I just want it to look quite sharp. So just patting just to get it perfect. I feel that on brown eyes, pink looks quite nice. Obviously with different colour eyes, you go for different colours. So I'm just going to build it up again on the other eye. So I'm just kind of going over to make sure that kind of equal. So now I'm going to take my Girls with Attitude small brush and I'm going to do the inner corner of my eye. So I'm going to mix these two together just on the brush and just go in just in the corner, just to create a kind of glow in the corner of the eye. I find that it just adds a bit of like glam. Because I've got quite a heavy eye look, I'm not going to use eyeliner, I'm just going to go straight in with lashes. These Illamasqua lashes, so they kind of have like a winged and edge effect, and obviously because I'm not wearing liner, I feel like these are probably the best ones to use just to give a bit of a more dramatic effect. So now I've got my lashes on, I'm going to go in and do the underneath of my eye. So again, I'm just going to spray my brush, the same one that I used for the pink, and I'm not going to put anything extra on the brush, I'm just going to use excess to begin with, and just go underneath. So now I've got the area a bit damp, I'm just going to go back in with a colour. So I'm just going to wait for the under eye to kind of calm down and stop watering. So I'm going to go in and do my brow bone, and I'm going to go for the lightest shade in the Morphe palette. You only need a tiny little bit. Now you can obviously go as harsh or kind of as light as you want with this. I don't like to go too mad. So I'm going to go on to my face and then I'll go back and do my mascara on the lower line. I just prefer to do it that way. I find that if I do my mascara and then go in my concealer, it just goes a bit patchy. To begin, I'm going to use concealer. So I do my concealer first, sometimes, depends what look I'm going for. Today I'm going to do my concealer first, and I'm going to go back with my MAC 252 brush and my Pro Longwear concealer in NC20. So I just apply it to my brush and I put quite a lot on and just pack it right under my eyelid. And obviously I'm a bit careful by the eyeshadow. So I try to be gentle, as you can see, going around. So I kind of pack that on my nose and just kind of brush down any excess. And then I take my buffing brush. This is literally from Primark and I use it every day. I just think it's really good. I don't see the point of buying an expensive one if you can get away with using a cheap one at literally $1.50. So I just go over the top and pat it, or buff it, however you want to say. Really gentle around the eye. So I kind of drag my face down. You can see the difference, how kind of red my skin is. I don't know if it's because I've put on an illuminator or just because my skin's feeling red today. I don't have perfect skin, so that's another reason why I decided to do a tutorial, because I got into a bit of a habit of watching all these tutorials and some of the girls had such amazing skin and it really made me feel really down. And I know that obviously not everyone has perfect skin. So I just wanted to do one, and I don't really care. If my skin's red, it's normal, I can't change it. Obviously you're meant to be really careful around your eyes. So I sometimes just get my finger, my ring finger, and just pat down. And then I'm just going to go over the top with my NYX NYX banana powder. And it's just gone all down my trousers. Brilliant. Today is not my day. I spilt eyelash glue on my jeans and now banana powder. So I just pack that on. And then what I'm going to do is just take the brush I had earlier that I did the highlight with, and I'm just going to go back on. I'm not putting any more on the brush, and I'm just going to dab. And now I'm going to take my L'Oreal Volume Million Lash and just go onto my bottom lashes. And if you're like me and you have really long eyelashes, it's bound to be a mistake. I'm going to take one of my cosmetic bud things and just dab it underneath. Just before I finish the rest of my face, I'm just going to do my eyeliner. I'm using the Berry M Kohl pencil. So I'm just going to do it on my waterline. I'm going to go onto my foundation next and use my MAC NC30 Studio Fix Fluid. So that's quite dark for my skin tone, but because it's kind of like a nighttime look, I always go for a darker shade at night and a lighter shade at the daytime. So now, you're probably not supposed to, but just because my skin sometimes goes a bit funny, I put quite a lot of foundation on. So I literally, look at the colour difference. I mean, you know, it is really dark, but obviously when you've got your fake tan on and everything, it kind of doesn't matter too much, in my opinion. Obviously daytime I wear a much lighter shade. So really careful around the eyebrows. Now, as you remember, I put on my concealer, so I'm not going to go all the way up just at the minute to my eyelid. I'm just going to focus on the other areas. So I'm going to sweep it round. So now I've done that, I'm not really going to contour anything just because I don't want to. So I'm not going to contour that much at the moment. I normally would, but today I don't want to. So I'm just going to set that with my big Girls with Attitude brush, and literally the cheapest setting powder ever, Collection 2000 I think it is, and I literally just dab that on all over. And then I go straight in with my Makeup Revolution Vivid Baked Bronzer in shade Golden Days. To start with, I'm just going to put this on my cheekbone. So and I fancy making it a bit darker, so I go in with my MAC Dark Tan Mineralized Skin Finish. And again, buff it along the top of my forehead, tiny bit on my nose. And then I just go under my chin. So I just feel like it gives it a bit of an, kind of like a simple finish. I then take my Girls with Attitude brush and my MAC blusher in Mocha, and I don't do any of this at the moment because I feel like I don't need to, so I just gently, so it's quite like a pale blusher, I'd say. I don't really want to go for like a rosy cheek effect. I just want to go for a hint of colour. Then I'm going with highlighter. So I'm taking my Real Techniques brush and my Goddess of Love Triple Baked Highlighter. So just go in on my nose. Then I sweep it just along here. And the same, the other side. Now obviously it depends how much you want to put on. I'm not going to go too wild. Now obviously in this lighting my nose looks quite bright. If you think, oh my god, I've put too much highlighter on my nose, just go back in with some touching powder and just go back over it if you're not brave enough to go out with a highlighted nose. So that is my face complete, and then I'm going to move on to lips. So I'm going to use my MAC Oh Honey Pro Longwear Lip Crayon, and I'm going to go for a nude lip. I always go for a nude lip, majority of the time, because I've got quite a dark eye. I think it'll be kind of perfect. So. And then I'm going to use Peach Stock by MAC and just go over. And then to finish off, I'm going to take my MUA Mattifying Fixing Mist. I'm just going to spray that all over my face. Just to keep everything in place. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know. I will link all the products below. Obviously this is just my opinion, how I do my makeup and kind of what I prefer. I'm thinking of doing an everyday makeup look and a more heavy nighttime look. But as always, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.